17 was plenty old enough to drink, in Cam's opinion. 17 was almost old enough to vote, almost old enough to go to war. Neither activity sounded like something he'd go out of his way to do, but some people placed a lot of importance upon such things. Cam placed most of his importance upon clandestine sips of Jack. Daisy adjusted her sun hat and shook a bag of seeds, a smattering sprinkled into her canvas-gloved palm. Claire's needles tapped together, full speed ahead. "It's gonna rain." "So what if it does?" Daisy wiped a smear of sweat from her forehead, though it wasn't very warm. Certainly not as warm as it'd be in a month, or in another month after that. Hell, the mosquitoes were barely out. It was barely even spring. She glanced at Cam. "When the rain comes, I'll need help getting inside." "You know I'll take care of you, Miss Claire. You feel the first sprinkle," he vowed, "and I'll whisk you off to the parlor." "That's a good boy." "Mostly." She peered down at the project dangling from the needles. It was finally taking shape, green and gray. Not a mitten or a scarf, not a blanket for a baby. It was already too warm for those things anyway. The town of Staywater was always both too warm and not warm enough. Cameron wondered if it was just him or if everybody felt that way. Hazelhurst had air conditioning units in half its windows and gas heat that came up from the floors, but he couldn't remember the last time he'd heard either one of those systems running. God only knew if they even still worked. His swinging feet picked up a rhythm. Claire's needles followed along, unless it was the other way around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If this weather was some kind of sweet spot, it could stand to be sweeter. He thought about taking off his shirt, a striped button-up with long sleeves, rolled up his forearms. He thought about going inside and getting a sweater. He thought about. The needles pulled the yarn, loop by loop. Claire's foot leaned. "He's wandering again," Daisy murmured. Claire murmured back, "He's bored." "It's a boring town for a boy his age. In another few years, he'll kill time down at Dave's place, whatever they call it now, and he won't have time to reach into the cabinet, feeling good about stealing. He does feel good about it, you know. He kills plenty of time at Dave's already, but I don't think they serve him. He goes down there to see that woman." Daisy clucked her tongue. "She's trouble. Anyway, she's too old for him." "She agrees about that, so it's one thing we got in common. Someday we should tell him who she is and what she's done. He might not believe us, but then again he might. Might make it easier for him to leave when the time comes for that." Daisy snapped, "You hush your mouth." Cam stared into space. His feet kept time with Claire's lone foot pumping against the weight of the rocker, but Cam's heels knocked against the lattice that screened off the porch's underside. It was thin with dry rot and flaky with old lead paint. It cracked under the percussion of his heels, but he didn't stop. "We might as well get used to the idea," Claire said. "He's growing up, and he might not stay. It'd be best if he didn't. You know it as well as anybody." "But they always do, now that it's safe." She shook her head. "No, they don't." Her needles knotted the yarn row upon row. "And you don't know that it's safe." Daisy's spade cut the garden dirt row upon row. "They usually do," she amended her conviction. "And it mostly is. Besides, where else would he go?" "Forto, the swamp park, somewhere farther off than that. Anywhere he wants, I guess." Claire peered over her shoulder. Cam's feet bumped up and down, back and forth. The lattice held just fine. If Freddie was under there, he held just fine, too. Probably he'd taken off already, retreating to some quieter corner under the front.